servers. Okay, so we'll see how we can do again. Hope you guys all have installed Jenkins, right? Okay, good. So see, that's what I was telling. Maybe I was on mute, or I was so maybe no one was listening to me. The thing is, whatever I covered in our last class, you should have do immediately after the class. Okay, see, we got entirely 1 week there, and you should have installed and should have go through the Jenkins tool and just do R&D. What are the things are there in the Jenkins tool, and at least one or two plugins you should have installed. Okay, so see, learning something and getting expertise is totally different, right? If you learn something and go to the interview and just you'll get lots of questions and you'll not be able to answer it if you are not experienced, or you are not hands-on whatever things you are doing. If you don't have any hands-on experience on that, you're not able to tell the real-time work. So don't worry, I'll just explain you everything, how real-time you'll work on these tools and how it will help you to set up the jobs and all. Okay, so how you can explain it easily to the interviewer. The thing is, before learning something, right, before learning something, you should know why you are learning that and what you are going to use, and what will be usage of the tool or any technology, whatever things you are learning, and how you are going to put in your day-to-day life or in your career. Okay, so if you understood that things clearly and you set off your goals, then you easily can get, expertise on that particular stuff. Okay, so here everything whatever I'll tell you will be real time setup and real time projects what we normally work in our organizations. Okay, so just let me get the IP address, how to log into your uh, Jenkins server. Okay, and also I'll show you how you'll see DevOps engineer. The collaborations work between the development team and the operations. Okay, so it's a collaboration work between the development and operation. 1 second. So I think the Jenkins server is not running now, so I have to restart it. So it is in CentOS, I believe. Okay, so I have to use sudo system ctl start Jenkins. Okay, so it is starting the Jenkins. So you can see here in the front end also, you can see here, please wait while starting getting up ready the work. So if you go to the terminal, it has started now. Okay, now just let it load the Jenkins tool. So you have to use the root user, right? So okay, so we are into the Jenkins dashboard. Now what we are going to see today, I already have told you how to go to the where to go, and what are the things you have to learn, right? Go to the manage Jenkins, and in the manage Jenkins you will see a lot of system configuration stuff and the security related and the status informations and all this, right? So we have to go through all these parts like system configuration our system, global tool configurations, right? So when to use the global tool configuration, when to go for configuration your system, okay, and when go to the manage plugins, okay, and then the manage nodes and clouds. All these things will see it one by another, just when we move on to the slides. Okay, so now let's go ahead and create a job. Today what happens in the left hand side, if you see here, left hand side will have one new item, right? Click on this new item. Here I'm going to set up a job or set up a project in the tool. Okay, so here you can see, before giving and creating the project, we will have different options, different type of project or different type of jobs we can create. So here you can see the freestyle project. This is a central feature of Jenkins. Jenkins will build your project combining any source code management with any build system, and this can be even used for something other than software build. Freestyle project and pipeline job setups. We'll just explain. We'll have a separate one-day class for pipeline alone. Okay, it is a big, and the full automations will do with the pipeline. And this freestyle is actually we have to manually set up the jobs and build, how to trigger it manually. Everything we'll see it with freestyle, and how we'll automate the tools itself, how to write the code and automate all these things we will see in the pipelines. And all again we have another one is the multi-branch pipeline. So all three types of projects, all these three types of projects we are going to learn as part of this tool. Okay, now today, so let me select as freestyle project. So give a name to the project. Suppose I'll give something. I just gave my first demo v5. Okay, the project name, and this project name should be the project specific, and based on your requirement you have to give the project name. Okay, now just click on OK. That's all. Select the freestyle project, click OK. Okay, so once you click OK, you'll see good here the dashboard of creating the jobs. In the first general section, you'll see here multiple sections will be available, multiple tabs. One is the general source code management. Okay, next is build trigger, then build environment, and build and post build actions. So we will see each tab, and I'll explain you what this tab is being used for. Okay, so if I select here general, just give the descriptions, like you have to be, the description should be meaningful, like what is this project and why you are up to set up, like what kind of build it is doing, and what is the nature of the project. You have to just give a small descriptions about that. Okay, so I can give you my first demo project, something I'll give like, and here you see there are multiple other options available. Let me just little reduce the font, it is big actually. Okay, now you can see here discard old builds. So what it will do, if you have any old builds available, if you already have any old builds available, it will remove and discard the old builds. If it is a GitHub project, you have to select this GitHub project. This project is parameterized. If you pass any parameter, to the project when running the runtime, then you have to select this parameterized. So we'll see all these things whenever we just move forward and do small other projects, then we'll see, because we'll have a different parameterized project, we have a different GitHub project. Okay, so all these things we have to do it. If you want to disable this project, don't want to run it, you can select this disable project. Okay, so what it says, execute concurrent builds if necessary. If you want to build another concurrent build, another build, so you can select this execute concurrent builds if necessary. Okay, and what happens here, if you see here question marks, right? So this question marks actually gives the hints. You can say get if you are not sure about that, you can just see here, and what it says, help for feature discard of old builds. So they have not given much here, but sometimes what happens, if you don't know or if you are not sure anything, just go and select for this. There will be one hint button or one hint icon will be there, and they'll give more details on that. Okay, so that's all about this general, and we'll have this advanced section, so we'll see it later on. Next we'll have the source code management. We have the source code management here. So in the source code management we have here none and git. If you are having the git projects, right, if your projects and a source code is in the GitHub repository, right, remote repository, and you want to build the project from the GitHub, then you have to select Git. So for the first project, first build, I'm showing none because I'm not showing you how to build a different projects rather than the GitHub one. Sometimes what will happen, you have to build it different projects. That should not be a mandatory, like it should be GitHub and all, right? If you want to run a shell script, if you want to run a Python script, and you have to write in the terminal itself and can build it with Jenkins, okay, you have to select none. Now the build trigger. So what is this build trigger actually? So the nature of build, like how you want to trigger and execute a build, because this is the Jenkins is nothing but a Jenkins server is nothing but a build management tool, right, working as CI and CD, continuous integration and continuous delivery. So you should know what exactly the continuous integrations and how the continuous delivery happens. Okay, then how the build triggers will be executed. There are multiple options available. You can see here trigger builds remotely, that is from a script. If you have a script is written somewhere and you want to execute the build from the script, you can do that. So now you can understand, right, DevOps is nothing but a mindset, and it's an approach towards the automations. How you can automate your manual stuffs, it's up to you. It's totally up to your mindset, how you want to design, how you want to execute your project, your job. It's up to you. The build trigger, right, if you're good enough with writing a script, you can write a script and execute it. So that script could be anything. If you don't want to use any tool, you can simply write a script, and the script can do multiple automations, right? That's why whenever you join the course, right, I told you, right, you should be, right, good enough to think and take the decision, right? See, so what happened to a solution architect? Whenever you learning some cloud and you are going for any interview or joined a company or organizations, you'll be appointed as solution architect. So you will be providing the solutions to your organizations. The solutions will be your ideas, your design technique, right, that you are going to deliver to your management or to your organizations. Similarly, whatever things you are doing, it should come from your mind that I am going to do in this way. So nobody can see, if you are going to make something easy, nobody is going to break you, right? Nobody is going to stop you. It's how you are making the manual stops, how you are making the stops so easy and it can be executed with error free. Okay, that's the trigger builds remotely somewhere, and build after other projects are built. That means you have to select this trigger, and there should be another project which will be dependent on this project. Build after other projects are built, then you have to select it, and build periodically. So what it does, build periodically, you have to set up some schedule, like some cron jobs, you have to set up some kind of schedule, you have to write it here. How often you want the build should run, and most two important things are the GitHub hook trigger, that will have a not separate class. I'll tell you how we can set up this webhook. If you remember, when we had our Git and GitHub classes, right, that time I was telling about one concept called webhook. That GitHub hook we are going to use in our Jenkins. So that webhook will be act as an API which will trigger the event, and that event will execute, okay, in the Jenkins. So how that event will be triggered and it will come to the Jenkins and execute the project, that will see as part of this GitHub. And the other one will be Pole Scm. Pole Scm, Pole source code management. Like how frequently do you want this same thing build periodically, And Pole Scm, we are going to use some cron job, some schedule mechanism, some scheduling mechanism. Okay, see. Okay, these things, let it be there. So Pole Scm is how frequently you want to run the build. Okay, and you have to set up the code accordingly. That means whenever there is any changes happened and at particular time, the Pole Scm will run. Okay, so in our next project, I'll tell you how the Pole Scm. First, I'll do a freestyle, the project style I'm doing without giving anything, simple plain script I'll write and show you how we can execute the build, and it will work. Okay, the next I'll show you with different mechanism how to set up with the GitHub, how to set up the Pole Scm, how to set up gate webhook and all these things. Okay, now the build environment. So the build environment will not much will use on this. Okay, what it says is simple: delete workspace before the build starts. Sometimes what happens, um, if you have done multiple builds, if you have run your projects, what happen, every time your build will will kept in the workspace area. I'll tell you what is the workspace and all. Okay, and that workspace area you will have the old builds, right? And sometimes what happens, due to that old build, you may encounter some kind of issues, like some there are space issues might come. Okay, we frequently get space issues because there are hundreds of unwanted old builds will be there, and which will be consuming the disk storage. Okay, so that you don't want these old builds to be there, and you want the workspace to be clean totally before you start a fresh build. You can select it here and use secret text or timestamp to your console output, inspect build logs, terminate a build if it is stock. If you want to stop, if your build is taking more time, like it should, you know that your build should complete within 5 minutes. If it is taking more than 5 minutes, like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, if you want to click it, just terminate and just give a timeout minutes, like 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, then it will be automatically terminate if your build is stuck. Okay, and if you want to build with Ant, you can select it. Ant is actually a build tool. Okay, now next step is our build. Next step is build. So what we are going to build now, I am going to write, suppose here you can see here this options available here. Minimum by default, see whatever the options you are getting it here based on the plugins available in the Jenkins server. But whatever the plugins, if you want to use it, once you install it, that will reflect all over the server and all over the tools. Okay, so here you can see we have all these a few options available. Okay, there are, you may need some other plugins which will be used as part of your project. You can select it and install it, and you can see the options will be available for here for any build. Suppose we don't have a suppose I am going to run a .NET project, right? I want to build a .NET project, and I don't see any build options for .NET here. I don't see any build option for .NET. I can see only for Maven build, Gradle build, Ant build, and execute cells and all these, right? But I don't see anything for .NET project, right? So I'll show you that how we can install it and where I can get the options available here. Now suppose simply I'll just help on just creating execute a cell, and I'll get a command execute cell. So this is the plugin and piece of software program which we am going to write it here. I want to print, like suppose echo hello Jenkins. Okay, and simple cell commands I'm typing it here because I'm going to execute the cell here. Okay, first build, that's all. So build is done. So I'm going to build this one. This command is going to be built. This is just simple, very basic, and just starting the tool, right? How we can set up these tools and jobs. This is the first project. And here, after the build is done, after the build is success, the post build actions should be there. So what you want to be done after the post build, like once the build is success or failure or terminated, what you want to do, what sort of actions you want to do it. So you have to write in the post build action. So you have to select here. So post build actions, we have multiple other things also there, right? Active the archive the artifacts, build other projects, email notifications, okay, all these things, and delete workspace when the build is done. So it will delete the workspace even when the build is done. So everything, all these options are available, and we'll see each of them. Most of the things are when we start and doing the project. So for this build, I don't have any actions to perform. For this build, I don't have any actions to perform. So what I can do, I can just ignore it, okay, leave it. And we have two buttons here, save and apply. So what apply will do, apply will just save it, and it will be there in the same window. It will be there in the same window, it will just saved. And if you do save, it will save and exit out from the project. Okay, now our, if I go to the dashboard, earlier our dashboard there were nothing, right? Now you can see when I come to the Jenkins dashboard, I can see here one first project is created. First project is created, okay. And you can see here, this is the status of the last bill. This is for status of the last bill, and this is the weather report. And they just have given some design here, and for UI, for that interface, like look beautiful, and for the user interaction, right? We were using how we can view the status of the job or project. Everything they have given here, status of the last bill. If you see this symbol, if you keep your cursor over here, it says not built. This is just created but not built, and this is actually a weather report which has not yet started. And this is the name of the project or the job, name of the project or the job. And last success, nothing has done, last failure, nothing, last duration. And you can see here one play button is there, which will, if you click it, it will trigger the build. Okay, now either you can click the build trigger here itself, okay. Let me just click it once here. Once you click this build, the build will start running, and you can see here the build executor, right? So what will happen if I start building the executor, okay, it will, the executor will take the process and start building it. So we have two executors available in the master. So far we are, whatever we are doing on the master server, guys, remember, so far whatever we are doing in the master server, we have not set up the node at master slave architecture, we have not yet started. Only we are going to run whatever things in the master server. So which will be your master server, where your Jenkins is installed, that one will be your master server. Okay, now let me click this one. You can see immediately left hand side one build is running, right? My first build, and it is success. The executor took that one and it completed. Now it is completed. Okay, so if I go here and check, the status has changed. Now the status has changed, it is to success. And the weather report, build stability, no recent builds failed, okay. It gives no status builds failed. And here last section, for it took 14 seconds to complete the build, okay. And this is the build number, and this will be very important, guys, to know about the build number, and to do troubleshoot, and may use for other projects or for the other build with the build number, okay. And the with the build number, we have to generate the end product, the binary product versions, which version of the build you want to execute and deliver to the staging environment or production environment. With the build number we have to identify, and this is very important. The first build actually we have executed the first time, so it got the first build, and you can see it has not failed. Last duration, it took 13 seconds. Okay, sorry. Now this is all you can see in the dashboard. How did all the details, how we'll get it? So you have to simply click on the job. So if you click on the job, you will be in the projects dashboard. Now you are in the project dashboard. This is the project, you can see dashboard. Now you are into the project dashboard here. You can see project, my past demo B5 I have given here. Okay, so this is the status of the project, and you can see here the last build 1 minute 41 seconds ago it has done, and all the details you'll find. And you will see one workspace for, remember, for every project or every job you created on the Jenkins, there will be a workspace created, and that workspace, if you click on, you'll see all these things will be available in the workspace. As it is just simple a file, a simple a command executed to display on the terminal, there will be nothing available in the workspace. Okay, now if you see the status here, and how you will check the Jenkins logs, you will see multiple other things available here, workspace changes. And here also, if you go inside the project dashboard, you can click build now. What it will do, it will immediately start building. Okay, if you want to click here, just click it. You can see here build 1 is there, and you'll see immediately build 2. See, build 2, second time I built from here. Okay, here if you want to configure it, okay, I'll tell you all this later. Now first let's go and check the logs. You have to check the success log, right? You have to either you can click on this tick mark here, or you can click on this build number. Just click on this build number, you'll see here, but you don't have any console outputs. You can, what I have to do, you have to simple come here, click on the console outputs. See, this is the console output. So started by the user here, Ranjit Kumar, and running a system, and here is the workspace, building in the workspace. Okay, here let me tell you how Jenkins works actually. So whenever we create a job, what will happen, Jenkins will create a workspace with the name of the job. So you can see here, and this is the path var leave Jenkins and workspace. Under this workspace folder, we have a folder name called as the project name, my first demo V5, and this is the project where the Jenkins start building, and all the logs and all the details about the project will be available in this folder. As this is simple a job or build to display the result on the terminal, there will be nothing available in the workspace. Okay, and you can see here it writes hello Jenkins, and this is just a demo on first build. You can see finish success. This is the way you saw the build console output. You can see here console output. Okay, now if I want to see directly the console output, just click on the success here, right button, right, click on this one, it will take you directly to the console output. You saw how both ways you can go to the console output and verify. So when we need this console output in case any failures, or to find out lots of directories, lots of important informations from the logs or console outputs, so you can find it over here. Okay, now you understood how the builds happen and how the console outputs you can get it. So this was very simple job setups and simple build informations I showed you. Now the first build, now the next build, let's go and start with a Java project. Let's go and build a Java application. Okay, so how you'll do it, go to your dashboard. Okay, we have this job is there. Now let's go ahead and create another job, new item, give a name like my first Java app. Okay, my first Java app. Now just select the type of job you want to create. Freestyle project, I want to create a freestyle project or job. Click OK. Okay, just give a disclaimer. And I don't want to select anything here so far. Okay, let's go here. Source code management. Okay, I want to get the project from the GitHub. Okay, here I'll tell you the real-time scenario when and how you'll get this link. Okay, so as a DevOps engineer, you have to coordinate. If you're working on Jenkins and working on the continuous integration side, or working on the build management and release management side, you must have to coordinate with your development team. Okay, you have to coordinate with the development team and get all the development related informations, like the repository link, where they have kept the repo, and what is the repository link, what are the build tool they are using, what are there are a lot of other things. Okay, build tools, what are the other manual tools they are using, right? Other manual tools they are using to set off and do manually building and all these things. Because if you don't know the manual things, whatever the things there the development team are using to build a project, and what is their requirement, if you don't know what is their requirement, you cannot automate it, right? You cannot automate it. You have to coordinate with the development team and get all the informations. Then you have to automate your job in the Jenkins. Okay, now as I'm going to set up the jobs, so before selecting and creating the jobs, you should have all the informations from the development team. Okay, suppose I coordinated with the development team, and development team gave me this project. Okay, they gave a link. Okay, and this project name is DevOps Wave, and they kept in the GitHub repository, and they shared the link. So they will share this particular link, this particular repository link they will share with you. Okay, and what you have to do, you have to just copy the link, go to the repository, copy there are lots of things we have to work on the repository, guys. That's why I completed the GitHub first, because we are going to use this GitHub repository frequently in our all the tools and projects whatever we'll do. Okay, now you can see here in this project the developer has 7 branches. Okay, I'm just showing you the real time how we do work in our organization and company and the project. Okay, suppose I got this one. So what I have to do, the first thing is I have to create a branch, because I'm going to work on that particular branch and automate the stuff. I don't want to touch whatever the thing. Suppose the developer said with me with the master branch, and there might be other branches which the developers will be working. I don't want to touch all these things. I have to create my own branch. Okay, let me just go here, and it has the master branch, it has 1.1, and all these branches will be available here. Okay, let me go ahead, and suppose I have already worked, or somebody has my team, DevOps team has already worked with this branch. Suppose dev 1.1 -b4. I want this branch to be copied and replicate with another branch, and then I'll use that branch to build the project. So what I can do, I can create a new branch. Suppose the branch name will be dev 1.2 b5. Okay, so what happens, I can click on this create branch from create branch dev 1.2 b5 from dev 1.1 b4. Click it, and the required project information, project details, everything will be available here. As it is a Java project, you should know for a Java project what build tool will be used by the development team. Suppose developer team is using Maven to build the project, then you have to use Maven in your Jenkins tool to build the Java project, right? For that, and here as a Java project, you know very well that there will be some XML file and settings will be available, which will be useful for the project to build. And you may definitely get questions on this whenever you face interviews on Jenkins and all. If you are going to build a Java project, the interviewer definitely will ask you, what is this pom.xml file? For a Java project, there must and definitely will be one pom.xml file will be there. So what is this pom.xml file? This pom.xml file is actually the binary, and this is a reference where you have set up all the binaries and libraries. Okay, so by using these settings, by using these properties and the reference, the project will be built. Okay, see here all the library properties, libraries and everything has been set up. What are the tools being used, what are the libraries, what is the versions of library, what is the binaries to be used to build the project, everything will be there in the pom.xml file. And this you don't have to write. Remember, you don't have to write. Who will write? The development team will provide you this pom.xml file. And sometimes you may need to modify after checking with the development team. You may need to modify the versions, modify and adding new dependency. Okay, so it is a dependency list and dependency reference file. Okay, it will have all the dependencies for the project to build this pom.xml file. Okay, and there will be another file called settings.xml also, but that is not in this project. There also will have all the reference and which will be related to the projects. Both pom.xml and settings.xml file, both files will be there. Now here, and all these things are related to the projects. Okay, this is a Java project, and this you don't have to really bother about all this, because this will be provided by the development team to you. Okay, this source code will be there in the source folder, so I don't want to touch all this source code changes, anything that will be done by the development team. And here the Jenkins files, which will be written by you only. Okay, that as part of automations pipeline project, that will have a separate class for this. Okay, I don't need for this build, so that what I can do, I can delete this Jenkins file. Okay, I can go ahead and delete this Jenkins file. So now from this version dev 1.2 b5, the Jenkins file is now deleted. Fine. So this is what whole project is available, and this is the fresh project. I got it from the development team. So what I need this particular branch to be built by the Jenkins. So what I'll do, go ahead, select the Git, and here the repository URL, the URL which will be provided by the development team, that is the URL, right? This URL. Copy this project URL, go here, copy this and paste it here. Okay, see, this is the project URL, repository URL, and now the credentials. So the credentials you have to set up, as this is a public repository, right? If I go here, and you can see it is a public repository. Remember, for the public repository, it will not ask you the credentials. And obviously in your organization there will be no public repositories. What you have to do, you have to set up the credentials anyway. everything will be private, and you should have the credentials to log in to your projects. Okay, I'll show you how. So first build, let me do it with public one. Okay, the next build, I'll build a private project and I'll show you how you can set up the credentials. By the time you'll get some little ideas to play around it. Okay, so this repository URL, we got it here. I'm not going to give any credentials as it is public. We don't have to any credentials, and this is only for your own practice and all. But in organizations and everything, you have to work on private repositories. Okay, so now leave this part. Only I provided that. Now the branches to build, which branch do you want to build? If you want to build all the any branches, select what it says branch special blank for any. Just remove this, that means any branch it will be built. But I want specific branch. What is the branch name? The branch is dev 1.2 -b5. This is the branch which I need to build. Then I have to specify the branch name here. If you want to build master, then you have to give master branch, but I want to specify the branch name dev /1.2 b5. This is the branch I want to build it. Okay, now if you want to add another branch, you can click and add another branch and build it. Okay, so and this things is not required. It gives a repository browser auto, that is fine. Build trigger. Okay, so build trigger, I'll show you in another the next project how to set up the build project. Now next, build environment. I don't want the build environment anything to use now. Here the most important is the build. So you set up the project which in the source code management, which project you want to build, and in the build section you want to how you want to build it. What you want to build, you got it already. How you want to build, now you have to set up. Okay, now I want to build with invoke top level Maven target. So here I'm going to use the Maven build tool. So before using this Maven build tool, okay, let me show you the Maven build details, and there will be one Maven build cycle informations, and that lifecycle, sorry, build life Maven build lifecycle, and you may get some questions around it. So better you just keep it handy, this link, and bookmark in your browser so you can use it. Okay, now this is the build lifecycle. They'll ask you a build lifecycle is made of phases, different phases of the build. So that is validate, compile, test, package, verify, install, and deploy. So you have to just remember all this, not much required. And here it has given the manual command how you have to execute. To execute the build manually, the Maven build, you have to use mbn, the Maven command, and verify, clean deploy, clean install, and all these things are available here. See all the phases. Now this will be all, and here is the plugin, the pom.xml on setting.xml, right? That file will be added here. So life cycles, everything is given. So you can go ahead and see all this. It's not required, mostly for deployment team they'll be working. And also if you are going to work on the build management, you should have a few knowledge on these details. Okay, now here the informations I'm just going to show you. So what this validate does, validate the project is correct and all necessary information is available. So if you just want to validate the project, whether the project is correct or not, right? So you have to just validate it. Compile the source code of the project. So Java C, C++, the compilation. So whatever the project required a compilation, so you have to use compile, mbn compile, okay, and test, to test the compiled source code, package to build the compiled code and package it for the distributed format. For Java project, the distributed format will be .jar file or .war file. We already have seen when we installed Jenkins, because Jenkins is a Java, entirely built in Java, right? It's a Java tool, right? It's built in totally Java, and it's a web-based Java application, you can say. And this is actually .war file, okay, web archive. And here Java archive, it is Java jar, it will be a desktop applications. If you want a desktop applications of Java, it will be .jar. If you have web-based applications, it will be .war. Okay, package verify, run the package to verify the quality, whatever the quality matches or not. Then install it. So we install the package into the local repository, deploy into the build environment. Now I just, and there will be also clean, it will clean, see the it will clean before validating, before verifying, sorry, before packaging, before installing anything, it will clean everything, the environment, and then it will package it. Okay, so you now just use this one and see. And also it has the pom file. If you want to know and more details about this Maven and to get ideas, I would suggest you guys go through these documentations, okay, and go to the POM and to understand more on this POM and all, what exactly. It will not take more than 1 hour or 2 hours to just have a brief ideas on how it works. Okay, so this is what we are going to work in our entire life cycle. So I'm going to show you all this. Okay, also we'll follow these documentations throughout our project built and setup, and then that time we'll move forward and just learn how it is going to be used. Okay, now in my project I want the goal to be set off as clean package, or I'll use clean install. Okay, clean install. Remember this Maven version, this Maven version. What is this Maven version? This will select this local underscore Maven. So can anybody of you, if you understood in our last class when we set up the global tool, what is this local Maven and where, how it come here, and where we had set up in this local Maven? If you remember and memorize the in our last class things, right? What is this local underscore Maven?
We have configured in global tool.
Okay, yes. So the Maven, whatever we had installed in our last class, right? Same thing was configured in our global tool configurations, and I had given a name as local underscore Maven. And because I'm going to use this local Maven versions to build the project. Okay, invoke top level Maven targets. I'm going to use the Maven which is installed so that it will be used to build the project. Okay, now what I can do, I can simply go ahead, the build is done. Okay, now in the post build action, what I want to do is I want to archive the artifacts. I want to archive the, suppose I want to archive the artifact. There are a lot of things we are going to learn one after another. There will be multiple projects we'll be doing, guys. Okay, more than 15-20 projects we'll be doing, and at that time we'll see all the other options will be available. We'll see. Okay, now archive the artifacts. So here what you want to archive it, suppose I want to archive the product, the war file which will be generated as part of this project. And this DevOps web, whatever the project I am going to build, it is actually a web based application, and it will generate an generate a .war file. Okay, so I'll just build star star slash star dot war. So That means what is this? It is going behind one directory and build archiving this dot star.war file. I'll show you where this star.war file will be available. Okay, this is the where I'm going to archive it. Now save and exit. Good. Our first my first Java app b5 is created. If I go dashboard, we'll have now two projects. We'll have now two projects, right? Let's go to this Java project and start building here. Build now. It started building here, you can see. And if you want to see the running logs also, you can click the console output. You can see the running logs. See, it is started building here, all starting, all the console output logs you can see here. See the build logs, all the things you can find it here. The entire logs will be fine. See, as it is a very small application and small project, okay, what it does, it takes suppose 1 minute or max 2 minutes of time to build it. So in the real time, whenever you are building your application in your organization, that could be huge application, and it may take minutes of time, like 30 minutes, 50 minutes, even more than hours also. So you have to be just build that, and will be stay after 1 hour the build will complete, and you'll be seeing that it will be generating huge console outputs. It will be huge logs will be generated. So each build, whatever you do, first time it will take time, because it will be connecting and downloading all the required binaries, libraries for the applications to build. Everything is getting done, everything is downloading now, all the XML, all the binaries, libraries, how it is downloading as part of the POM file. So in the POM file, pom.xml, right, all the dependencies were mentioned. See, all those dependencies are getting downloaded. Here is the main thing happened. So what happened here? So it gives lots of errors. It gives lots of errors. So our build is failed. Our build is failed. So why the build is failed? It gives the error, compilation error. So the code has some compilation error. Now the source option 5 is no longer supported, use 6 or later. The target option 1.5 is no longer supported, use 1.6 or later. Source and here. What happens? Fail to execute this Maven compiler version. Okay. Now what happened? It says like source option is 5 is no longer supported. So let's just copy this particular plugin, go to your pom.xml, okay, edit this pom.xml file. Now you are seeing the real time how it we do, right? Search for the plugin here, okay. Okay, so here the plugins we can find it. Pasted it everything here, search it carefully. Okay, now what was the error? So copy this particular things, search, says Maven compiler plugin. It's not there. Execute goal. Source option 5 is no longer supported, use 6. Target 1.5 is no longer supported. For more information about errors and possible solutions, visit the okay. So let's see what is the Maven tool is being used. What is the plugins? Okay, so Maven compiler plugin is 3.0, No project DevOps compilation failure. So let's go ahead and check the plugins. Okay, now if I go to the manage Jenkins, okay, let's go to the manage plugins, and if I search here Maven, sorry, available, first check in installed. Okay, search for Maven, nothing is there available. Maven, what it says, Maven integration, and this plugin provides deep integration is 3.19 version. Okay. Now let's see what the version of Maven was installed as part of this. Okay, now what I'm going to do, um, okay, before doing that, let me just change the goal. Actually change the goal, so the goal installation did not happen. So how to modify the project, how to modify, if you want to do some changes to the project, because you created the project, now how you'll modify it, right? If there is some changes is required, so what you can do, go to the project itself, or you can select it here. You can see one configure option available, configure, right? So just click on this configure and it will go to the it will allow you to edit the project. Okay, or else you can just click this project, go to the configure here, click on this configure options, and it will give you the dashboard to update the project. You can see here we came back to the project setup here. Now let me go to the build available here. Instead of clean install, let me do clean package. Let's see what is happening. Clean package. Okay, save it. Let's rebuild the project. So this time the build will immediately complete, because all the required binaries and libraries already have been downloaded. Okay, again it is failed. See, very quickly it is failed, because the required libraries and binaries already been available. So where it will be available, it will be available in the, it will download everything in this workspace. Okay, so if I go to this workspace here, let me go to the Jenkins, log into the Jenkins server, go to this path. Okay, we are into the Jenkins and the folder workspace, and you will see here two workspace available here, and the workspace will be created based on the project name. And if I go to this folder, we'll have lots of files available. See, we have this pom.xml, all the things whatever was there in the project, right? Everything has downloaded into this folder, and then it has started the project to build. Okay, based on this pom.xml file, it has built. You can see this pom.xml file here also, whatever everything was there in the project. See, all this pom.xml, you can find it here. Now let me search this Maven, anything available here. Okay, so there are a lot of Maven things are there. So version 1.5, let me search version 1.5, nothing is there. We don't see anything here. Apache Maven plugin. Search for these things over here. Okay, and we'll see. Fine, let me go to the project here. What it says, compilation error, source option 5 is no longer supported. What is this source option 5? Maven compiler plugin 3.1, Maven compiler plugin 2.6, existing encoding, source main resources. let's go to the source main resources here, target and classes. Okay, so here actually is the problem happening. So whenever it is compiling and packaging it, it is failing in the target, the classes. Okay, that means whatever things are available here, let me cancel the changes here. If I go to this source main, okay, okay, so let me first clean out the old class paths and everything are there, right? So let me remove all this, commit changes. These things will be generated as part of that. We should not keep this on. Let me delete all this. So this git ignore is fine. Let me go to the source main, and we have all applications in this web app. Okay, fine. Now let me go here. Hello world, back in Java. That's fine. All correct. Okay. Now let me do some modifications here in this project. Okay. Now let me reconfigure it with to build. Okay, so what it says, discard the old builds. Okay, now you can select discard the old builds if you have. I don't have anything, so let it be there. Now what I want to do, build trigger, build environment, delete workspace before starts. Let me select it. So whatever the workspace we have, first it will delete it everything. Okay, now let me save it. Build now. Third build has started. So first it will delete everything and then, okay, the same things we are getting again. Even though we changes and build, it's still failing. Failed to execute goal. Login. Maven compiler 3.1.
So Ranjit, maybe here we installed Java 11, but actually that code may be supporting Java 5 or 6. So is that the issue?
No, here Java 11 we yeah, we install Java
Java
11, right?
11.
Yeah,
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 higher
sure.
version.
Acha, acha.
So it's
Okay, that could be Java 8. Okay, okay, it was working for Java 8.
yeah,
Okay, fine. Let me do that. First, let's do some changes if we can do. Otherwise we'll reinstall the Java and then we'll see. Um, mm, okay, just let me just look after this. XML file, Maven Apache server. This is something actually you have to deal with your development team, okay, because the compilation error and everything will be dealt by the development team. So you have to just copy paste, how we have to work, simply copy these error logs and forward to the development team, and they will just fix it and give you the details again to rebuild it. Okay, as I am working as both development and DevOps, so as this application have to work, then I'm going to trying to fix it. Okay, so let me just go through all this, and
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
This is purely a development work.
development work. Yeah, so I'm just going to
Right.
see if anything I can fix it. Okay, Maven against Apache Maven plugins. Okay, Apache Maven plugins. This 2.3. Fine. So what we'll do? Let's it be there. Now what we can do? Let's reinstall. Let's install Java 8 and see what is happening. Java 11 is installed, right? Uh, so Java 11 is installed, right? So let me set off Java. Let me install Java 8. Okay. So what are the installations for Java 8? You have to use sudo yum install. Okay, so it was Java Open 8, right? One second, I'm just getting the name. Java, it will be Open JDK. I think Java 1.8 hyphen 1.8.0 Open JDK, I think, right? Open JDK. Sudo yum install Java 1.8.0 Open JDK. I think yes. Let me install Java 8 and see if that is working fine with Java 8. Okay, so JDK install. Let me install sudo yum install Java 1.8.0 Open JDK.
There is a typo error actually. Java -1.
Oh, sorry, 1.8. Okay, so author install. Now, if I do Java version, it gives me still 11. Okay, it gives me still 11. So what we have to do now, you remember we had created one file into the what is the folder name? It was no, the profile, no, it was, yeah, profile.d, right? So you have to, if I go to cd etc profile.d. Okay, so here we had created one maven env.sh. Okay, so just open this file, so not sudo. Okay, and here just update instead of jre 11 we have to set off okay, let me get this file. Use leave jvm. Fine, no need to set up all this. Now what we can do, instead of Java 11, right, instead of Java 11 OpenJDK 8, sorry, Java 11 OpenJDK, we can give Java 1.8 OpenJDK in our environment. So what we can do, go to your manage Jenkins, go to the global tool configurations, right? Go to the global tool configurations, and we have to modify. Here we have to provide which JDK to be used, right? Click here. So here we have given use user live JVM, and this is the path we had given. Now we'll give the path of Java 1.8 OpenJDK. Okay, instead of Java 11 I gave Java 8. Now save it, done. Let's go ahead and start building. Hope everything should be fine, or else we'll do more troubleshoot. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's go to the project, start building now. So it will be this time should use Java 1.8. So it is again downloading as part of the Java 1.8, right? So it is downloading the fresh
Yeah, yeah.
everything again. So you can see the Git version is 1.8 and Git version 1.8.3.1. Okay, so it is success now. So that means the application whatever I have is entirely built in 1.8. So it supports Java 8 but it does not support Java 11. That's why we are getting the compilation error. And here is the real time scenario we faced, and you will better understand now everything you have to, without knowing which version of Java I should build, I should automate. I simply built in Java 11 where my build is failed, right? What you have to do, you have to coordinate with the development team and get all the information. So the development team will tell you which build environment it is required to be built, what is the version of Maven, what is the version of Git, what is the version of Java, and this application supports and to be built. You have to get all these informations and you need to do the setups. Now you get the exact real time and good scenarios because of this failure. We now troubleshoot how we can do. We also see try to troubleshoot part of the development team what they should do. We also did that one and able to fix the issues, right? Now if I go here and check my, see, the build fails but last fourth build got success. So it is success now. If I go here I can see my build is success. Okay, my build is at last, my build is success. Okay, so here another DevOps, why should people use DevOps, why the companies are going DevOps actually. Here another real time and good example is, there is a concept, there is a tool in DevOps we are going to learn that's called Docker for containerizing your application and using microservices, that technique microservices and containerizing the application. So here the issue happened actually, what happened, we started building our jobs or our projects in the Java 11 environment where it's supposed to run on Java 8, right? To how these things can be mitigated, and this problem can be mitigated by using the containerizations. That means whatever the developer has used the environment, like suppose they have used 1.8 or Java 8 and they have built all the binaries, libraries, and whatever the things have been required for the Java for the developer to build and create the applications and the applications to be tested. The same containerized applications can be shipped or moved to anywhere, can be easily tested and built, tested and shipped to anywhere and can be used it. So at that time what we'll see, will not see any version mismatch, version compatibility issues and all these things. Anyway, don't focus on that, that will be again complicate you. So we'll learn those part in our containerization class, okay, Docker class. Now,
Ranjit sir, one question.
yeah,
One
please.
question I have.
Mhm.
So I believe like containerization is going to help if we are going to like support a different type of version of the Java application.
No, sorry, I did not get your questions.
So, like for example, in an organization, there can be a project which wants a Java 11 support, and there will be a different application which needs a Java 1.8 support.
Yes.
So these things can be achieved during with containerization, or like how?
Yes, that can be easily achieved by containerization. See, there could be
Acha.
different projects and different teams will be working. Suppose mm, you are containerizing all your applications and things, right? Suppose your developer will be working 11. So they can create a container, and they can create a container environment where they can install and set up everything in the Java 11 and start working. And they can create another container and another strips for 1.8 or Java 8, and they start working. So the 11 can be built separately and the 8 can be built separately. There will be no mismatch, and nobody can change the versions and all, which will impact in future, right? So everything can be achieved separately. You got it? Hello, Chandan. Guys, can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
I think Chandan got disconnected.
Chandan, you are on mute, I think.
No, he disconnected. Okay, maybe he got some issues.
Uh,
Okay, fine. So this is how you can see how we can see and build it. Now if I go to this project, right, if I can go to this project, you will see we have this artifacts which we had selected after the build, which will be archive. The post build was selected, archive the artifacts, and here our last successful artifacts, this is devops web.war file. Okay, if I go this workspace, we'll have lot of files available now. We have this pom.xml file, we have this target file, and this target folder will have the var file. This is the binary product and this is the end product which will be delivered to the staging environment or production environment. This is actually the application archived and packaged. This will be given to the customer. Okay, now what we'll do here, now we saw the building part. Now let's go ahead and check. See, still we are simply just doing continuous integration. Still continuous delivery is not done. Maybe in our next class we'll do continuous delivery part. Okay, now let's go and check how to modify this for automatically building and polling and building this job. Okay, now let me configure this job again. If I go here, we had what we had done, every time we had selected the delete workspace. Now I don't want to delete workspace unnecessary, it will consume time, so let it be there. And what I want to do, this build trigger, so far I was manually triggering the build. Okay, I was manually triggering the build. Now what I'm going to do, let's trigger the build through Pole Scm. Okay, so what is this Pole Scm? We are going to poll the source code management the particular interval of time. So how you'll do it, just click on this schedule options, right? You'll see, if you click this question mark, and you'll find a help for feature. Okay, just click on this, as I was telling, right? Just click on this, you'll find the help for the how you can set off the cron job. This is nothing but a cron job. If people will know about the cron, right, it is a scheduler to schedule some particular job or project. Okay, this is a cron job, and you'll see here this cron job is having the way first star will be your this will be 5 stars we are going to give it. First will be minute. Okay, five part, not star, sorry, 5 fields will be there. There will be 5 fields. First will be minute, hour, date of month, date of day of week, day of month, and day of week. So the minute will be 0 to 59, hours will be 0 to 23, and you can see there are few examples are given. You can just go ahead and check this cron jobs. Okay, and I'm not going to explain all more details on the cron job because it will take another 1 day to completely explain you, but I'll just give you his little hints on that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to give 5 star here. That means every 1 minute interval, it will be executed. That means our jobs, right, our project will every 10 minutes interval, it will start searching into the repository. If it finds any changes happened into the repository, it will automatically, the job will be triggered. Automatically the job will be triggered. Okay, so Pole Scm, if it finds any changes to the code, automatically it will poll and it will start building. Right now I selected this Pole Scm, and the rest of the things let it be same. Okay, now let me just save this one. Okay, now if you see, last build was 4. Every 1 minute interval it will start searching for the project, searching for the URL. If it finds any changes to this particular branch, to particular project, it will start building it. Okay, it will start building it. So now let me go to the particular 1.2 v5, because my job is going to be search this one. Okay, now let me just go ahead and do some changes to the project. Okay, suppose I'll edit something here, something I'm just for a demo, I'm just giving you v5 here. Commit the changes. Okay, I did some changes to the job now. Okay, if I go, I just modified 11 seconds ago, just wait here. 4 is there, right? Last build was 4. Just wait for few seconds, you will see here another build will be triggered automatically. Okay, another build will be triggered automatically. Just wait for a few seconds, you will see another build will be triggered here. If it is not triggering, that means it is not working on only commit event, any changes it finds. So what we have to do, we have to use our push event to push the code, do some changes and push the code, then it will automatically start building it. Now let's just wait. See, you can see here, right? The build 5 has started automatically. I did not do anything. By the Pole Scm, as we had every 1 minute interval, it will just search for the any changes. Okay, it find that there is some changes to the code and it automatically start building. This is one of the trigger option, and you may get questions in the interview. So the point is how you have to use it. You know how you have to use it and when you should use this, and where and when you should use this, in which condition you have to put this. So you cannot all the time, you cannot set up like every 1 minute interval you want to build. This is for a demo, I just showed you every 1 interval, because we cannot wait for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 1 week to show you the example demo. So here the thing is, when your build suppose need to be built only weekly once, suppose it is a very big build and it requires suppose 5 hours or 6 hours to build, and you cannot build it on the weekdays, and you want supposed to be built on Saturday, when all the projects will be ideal, you want to build your project. Suppose you can set up the Pole Scm to build particularly on Saturday at this time. Saturday, suppose 10 a.m. What you'll do, you'll do the changes, whatever the changes is required for your code. You finish it Friday, you finished your work and went home. Saturday, the Jenkins what will do, automatically the scan Saturday 10 a.m. will get the changes from the GitHub repository and start building for you. And if you want the build to start every night 11 p.m., you can set up right every night 11 p.m. it will be start building, right? That is the usage of the Pole Scm. Okay, that is one trigger. The other triggers we'll see in upcoming projects. There are many lot more things we are going to do, guys, okay, with this project and all. So far we have just started building, okay, just building, and we saw the end product and all, right? If I go to the workspace here, just copy the link for the workspace, and from the backend you can find and you can get the questions also. Okay, how Jenkins works. Jenkins will fetch all the informations from the GitHub repositories and create a workspace with the name of the project and put everything there and start building from that workspace. Okay, so everything is getting built from this folder. All the things are available here, the source and this the git and the target, and this target keeps, remember this target folder keeps the target product, the end product. Okay, it will have the end product, that war file. See, the devops.war file is available here. Okay, now all clear guys? If you have any doubts or anything, we can discuss, or else we can wind up this class. Whatever we learned today, I would tell you, just do practice today itself, and tomorrow we are going to see lots of more advanced thing. Okay, lot more advanced thing. So today we completed continuous integration, and tomorrow class we are going to see continuous delivery part with lot more advanced topics. Okay, before that you should have some basic and hands-on on the Jenkins tool, and just go whatever things we have learned today. Okay, just have some little practice today.